We got to talk about Shakur Stevenson. He got a bunch of new nicknames this past weekend, Chris. Before we get into that stuff, let's talk about the fight itself. Um, I'm not even exaggerating. I think I actually took a nap during the fight. Not gonna lie. Um, I missed probably the middle part of the fight. And I'm like I said, I'm not exaggerating. I actually took a nap during the fight. I was tired. 4th of July weekend. But hey, he earns a unanimous decision against Artem. I forgot his last name. Doesn't matter, Chris. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But he got another W, and we'll get into the stuff after. After, what were your thoughts on the fight?
Again, it was. If you see all the articles, they all say about the same thing, Joe. It was not impressive. He does just enough to win. Nothing spectacular. We know he's talented, but he's not the most exciting guy. He's one of those fighters that knows like, hey, I just gotta get the W. If sometimes I don't have to please the crowd, I'm not gonna do it. It's just again, he's extremely talented, but his fights are just lackluster. He just doesn't do enough to excite. So yeah, again, another lukewarm kind of a fight, in my opinion, for Shakur Stevenson.
22 and 0, 10 KOs. He's 27 years old now. He was fighting in his hometown. His own people were leaving. The people in the crowd were leaving, Chris, at your own home. I mean, that's all really you got to know about this fight. I read something on Twitter. He was going off on Twitter. He was saying that um, that ESPN was paying them to leave. He was throwing out all these conspiracy theories, saying that Top Rank hates him. Of course, he threw that race card like Crawford did. He said Top Rank can't build any black fighters, this and that. We'll get into it, but the fight itself, to stay on that, we won't stay on the fight itself too long, but we do got to talk about it. Did we learn anything new from Shakur?
Yeah, to me, no. I know he's good, but I also know he doesn't, mix it up enough. He doesn't let his hands go enough. Again, he's becoming what Floyd was for that period in his career when he everybody was just saying that he was boring, that he was running, and that's not a good look.
Yeah, look, he fought a guy, Artem Harutyunyan, who had already lost to Frank Martin. Before that, he fought Edwin Los Santos. That was that Thursday night fight. That was probably the worst fight I've ever seen in my lifetime, not even exaggerating. He did get a stoppage against Yoshino. I think that was a body shot, broke him down. Won a unanimous against Robson Conceição, who's now a champion. We got to talk about that too. Before that, Valdez and Herring. Um, and to me, it's just okay. You beat guys like Herring, like Valdez, and why you got to take one step forward and three steps back? I mean, why do you fight, some of the top guys, and then all of a sudden you're just fighting these guys who have no business being in the ring with you? I don't understand, And if you want to get straight into that top rank offer that allegedly he said that he declined, well, 5 fights, 15 million. Is that what you read, Chris?
Yeah,
5 fights, 15 million. So it's 3 million guaranteed per fight. I know you looked at some of his previous purses there, but I mean, you expect to make more money fighting guys like Artem, however you say his last name, Chris. We're never gonna say that guy's last name ever again on our podcast. No disrespect, but come on. Edwin de los Santos, we saw how that fight went. Shushiro Yoshino, like you're fighting these guys and you want to make more money. We just went off on Benavides for fighting Vostik and Tank Davis for fighting Frank Martin, not putting up the numbers because obviously people don't want to see these fights. So to me, man, these guys are so entitled. You want to take easy fights and want to make a lot of money. It's a Mayweather effect, man.
yeah. Again, Shakur again can't say this enough. Supremely talented. He does a lot of his talking on Twitter. He calls all these guys and he says that they won't fight him for X and X reason. But again, no one's gonna want to fight you if you're just gonna be cruising to a decision. You gotta mix it in. You gotta mix it up. You gotta you know take chances, take risks. That's the only way guys are gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna mix it up. I'm not gonna, they're not gonna risk getting in there with you just to get outboxed. Everybody knows that that Shakur is a superior boxer, but you also got to be a fighter, and that's exactly what he's not doing. And because of that, he's not exciting. Because of that, he's not putting people in seats. Because of that, he cannot demand the money that he's demanding. So again, he's got a lot of elements to be a star, but he's taking the wrong avenue. And I think I think that robbery in the Olympics, I think that has kind of scarred him a little bit, where he's like, I'm just gonna do what I need to do to win, or else they're gonna rob me. So again, if you want to keep doing this, sure, but you're gonna get tons of hate from fans all over the world. You're gonna keep getting promoters saying you don't have the value that you think you have, and yeah, you're not gonna be getting the type of money that you could be earning. So again, yeah, just looking back at the numbers, Gio, for the fight against Jeremiah Nakatilia, who our boy also fought, he got paid for that fight 1.5 million. It's pretty good. The fights before that, or the other fights against Toka Khan Clary, he got paid $500,000. Not bad, but it's not big money yet. Against Felix Caraballo, he got paid 450,000. So again, it's way below the 3 million. And to me, that they offered him 3 million, I think it's. He may not think it's a lot, but it's good money for a guy like Shakur Stevenson.
This kind of reminds me of we spoke about it recently. AB turning down 40 mil from I think it was Rock Nation at the time
Yeah,
for like 5 fights, I believe. He was getting like a guaranteed 8 million and declined it, and his career went downhill after that. But
yeah.
let's go before we continue on that. Let's go on this guy's Twitter because I had pulled it up right here. This guy's going off on everybody. Obviously, he's feeling the criticism. He was going in on guys like Steve Kim, Cameron, and Mays. You just see this. He's been tweeting literally all day. I'm not even gonna read all of them or really any of them, but you guys can see he's been going back and forth with Ryan Garcia, Timothy Bradley, talking smack about ESPN. You guys see it there on your screens. Who else did he talk about? Who else did you notice that he talked about?
Man, he's talking about everybody again. This is why they call him Twitterson. He just does a lot of talking on social media. But man, again, I'm glad that you brought up the Adrian Broner point, because, like you said, a lot of these guys take from Mayweather. One of them is not losing their own. Second is like thinking that the man is out to get you. And sure, we know that there's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of promoters out there that try to get their money and try to pinch you for yours. But yeah, man, again, you're not even pretty boy yet. Don't think that you're money made when you're not even pretty boy yet. So a lot of these guys, they should take these deals, and then once they get past that, once they get that money, then they can ask for more. If they fight some name fighters, and if their style is complementary to their values. So for now, I think it's, even though again Shakur Stevenson thinks he's worth more than that, 3 million is more than what he's been getting in some of his previous fights. And hey, five times a year, you'll get paid 15 million in 1 year.
Yeah, and let's go to some comments here. Shakur made it look easy against a guy Martin went life and death with. He should have stopped him though. He also says Twitterson got cooked by Mason Cam though. That was the most memorable moment of this whole event. And I want to show you guys this comment right here. I hadn't read this before, but I just ran into it now. This is Shakur Stevenson on Twitter a few hours ago. He says, I fought Yoshino, lit his ass up, and they said he's a hibachi chef. I outboxed Edwin using my legs. They said I was running. I stepped to Artem, walked forward all night, barely got hit, and they say I'm boring. One thing you learn coming up is as long, I think he's trying to say, as long as you winning, then gonna have something to say regardless. Young fighters take notes, stay focused. They can't stop your hustle no matter how many people they get to try. I am a one man army, and I am ducking my taco with none of you. N words, fuck y'all. I mean, clearly he's not happy at the criticism. Uh, I don't think he gets it, Chris. I don't think he gets it. I don't think people are mad that you're boxing. I think people are upset that your fights are boring. You know, I don't know any person in the world who would call Shakur Stevenson entertaining. I don't think Shakur Stevenson would call himself entertaining. I mean, it's, I think it's the lack of power, the lack of killer instinct. We just talked about Cameron. You know, he could lose a couple rounds, but he's going to find a way to solve that puzzle, hurt his opponent, put him away. As you said, Shakur, it doesn't seem like he's willing to take those type of risks. And maybe he is. Maybe we just rate him too highly. Maybe he's just not him. Maybe he just doesn't have it like that. Because if Shakur thinks that, you know, he's being aggressive, like he said, I'm coming forward all fight, you know, but he's not hurting anybody. You know, at the end of the day, we want to see knockouts. We want to see violence. Uh, Maybe he just doesn't have it, man. Maybe he's another Devin Haney, just no power. You know, and I've read some comments where people say, "Oh man, well the people who don't like this are the people who don't like boxing, or the people who don't watch boxing or don't know shit about boxing." Not none of us like it. It doesn't matter if you like boxing or not. You know, we all like the sweet science, but
Yeah.
if you can't hurt your opponent and you're just not entertaining, I mean, let's just be honest. You know, I don't care if he gets his feelings hurt, you know, because clearly his feelings were hurt. He was going off on everyone. But hey, what, do you want to lie to the guy? It seems like his team is lying to him, a bunch of yes men. You know, are you going to lie to him and say, hey, man, you did a great job? You know, you're what, 22-0, and you have 10 knockouts? You're 27 years old. Your best win was probably Oscar Valdez, and then after that, you're fighting these guys. I mean, we got to be honest. He's just boring, Chris. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a fan of the sport, if you like the sweet science, hit or not get hit. It doesn't matter. He's just not entertaining, and we got to be honest.